Welcome to Game Quest. I'm Mike.
And I'm Tony.
And this should be the final episode of Metroid Prime. Well, final-ish. We're probably going to do a discussion episode after this. But right now, we have all of the artifacts, and we are on our way to the temple.
Yeah, let's get this done.
Yeah, don't get us wrong, we absolutely love this game. Well, spoiler, I love the game. I'm not sure how Tony feels about it 100%. But, due to, technical issues and everything, we've been on this for like a month and a half now. Like, not just recording episodes, not just like basically episodes playing, but like it's been a while behind the scenes and we're ready to be done with it. Move on to the next project. So, I mean, it's a good thing we have this awesome bit as the thing that's left, you know?
Yeah.
No. It was mentioned off camera, but Tony and I were talking about how, like, the look of the Phazon armor has been growing on us. I compared it to the Colossus armor, I think it's called, from Mass Effect.
If I remember correctly, that is the right model. Like, just to take a look real quick.
Yeah, because Colossus armor is like black it with, like, red bits and highlights or whatever. It's one of, like, the final armors you can get. Something interesting that I'm not sure you've noticed, Tony. But, have you noticed that there's a shimmery aura around the start armor, too?
Yes, I have noticed.
Pretty nifty.
Almost always I'm made aware of it when... That's the blocked off way.
Yep.
When we're using the elevators. There's a brief moment there where it flares and becomes, like, more readily noticeable than before.
It's super nifty. Anyway.
Nifty.
We just gotta proceed further.
There we go. Well, that's gonna draw some attention.
Hey, Tony.
I've been trying to find this fucker.
Hey, Tony, you have to fight a space dragon. Well, first you scan the space dragon, because this is the only opportunity we're going to get.
That is true, isn't it? Oh, well, I guess that makes sense from his perspective now, doesn't it? There we go.
A new creature entry. RIDLEY, genetically enhanced Ridley metaform. Reborn and evolved through pirate technology, RIDLEY is a fearsome enforcer. Its armored hide is extremely resilient, save for the chest, which is a thinner plating. The pirates have fused a number of potent weapons to the creature, including a multi-missile system, a kinetic breath weapon, a Mesun bomb launcher, and an ultra-thermal flame strike projector. RIDLEY is also a formidable melee combatant, making any sort of engagement a risky proposition. Oh, well, there's your answer. He's got a vulnerable chest plate.
Nope. Accidentally pressed the morph ball button. Lose my lock on it. Where did he go?
He's over that way, in the distance.
Oh, there he is. Ah.
He's on a bombing run.
And he's just gonna zoom back over here.
Quite possibly.
Huh. I knew it'd be safe there. I had no guarantees. I just made a random assumption and hoped I would be correct. Oh. Oh, okay. He does, in fact, like to get close. Oh, okay.
That was the flamethrower.
That was the flamethrower.
Maybe try it when he comes back.
How dare you?
He's back. Yeah, but that's not doing anything.
No, it's not. Which is a shame. Come on. Well, I misjudged when I needed to jump there. Come on, come on, come on.
Can I try him with a super missile this time?
I want to see how much it'll hurt him.
Valid. There he is. Decent. Okay, now he's gonna come up over the edge in the middle.
Gotcha.
I did a decent amount.
I wonder what's going through this dragon's head.
That Samus is here causing problems.
Again?
Yeah, because this takes place between Metroid 1 and 2. The reason why he's basically a cyborg right now is because you blew him the hell up in the first game.
Yeah, that makes sense. He actually looks pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. What's funny is, in Super Metroid,
Yeah?
he had been healed up and repaired so that he was basically back to being regular Ridley.
Yeah.
But that's just, because I don't think Meta Ridley was a thing that was thought of at the time.
Yeah.
But then in the Metroid 2 remake that came out on the 3DS, we actually see an in-between form where he's still partially cybernetic.
Oh.
I think he was the final boss of that game too, which is also the first time Ridley has been the final boss.
I think I angered him.
Oh, his wings are gone. Oh.
Ah.
I would just say locked on. Scan him again? No, okay. You gotta shoot him to make him raise his head, and then you can hit him with the chest with the... Wow. Apparently you do need to hit him in the face with the missile.
Oh, I see what's hitting.
Oh, I think I hit him in the mouth with the missile. There we go.
Okay. That worked. Oh, I thought he was about to... Is
Do
there
you
a
not
reason-
lock on anymore?
No. That's strange.
Okay, try looking not at him and then holding down the left trigger.
There we go.
That was weird.
Yeah, I wonder what happened there. Okay.
Maybe Ice Beam?
Ay, ay, ay. Come on.
Charge? You have to hit him with his mouth open. There you go.
I don't really need the ice beam for this, apparently.
I mean, he didn't seem to be doing any damage with the plasma beam, is why I suggested ice. If you're shooting a gigantic, scarier version of the same attack, then maybe it doesn't damage him.
It's just not letting me lock on again. Okay. Ay, ay, ay.
I like how you took, like, no damage to the first, like, 2/3 of the fight, and now you just...
Well, he just keeps rushing at me.
stand there and just let this happen.
I'm not letting it happen.
You have a dodge.
I've been using it. Sometimes he just hits me anyways.
I think a plasma unit does as much damage as a base missile.
Okay. Come on. There we go. Let me lock on. I am kind of angry about this.
If you somehow manage to lose this fight...
Yeah, your sass is the last thing I need right now. There we go.
There we go. So you have, like, no health and no missiles. I think now it's super important to see if you can... Oh.
Oh, okay, that's a...
Oh, the birds disapprove.
They disapprove of... Did they throw him into the impact crater?
Yep. Samus, please don't jump. Okay.
Or Samus, you can totally jump and just screw me over. Oh, hey.
I think they're about to open the way. So, I say we go back to the ship real quick.
What?
Well, I mean, that fight cost here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like over 1,000 health and all of your missiles.
Yeah. The first part of it really wasn't that hard, and then, like...
And then for some reason, you just had like a super hard time not standing in the way of his attacks.
This would be the best moment to sick, like, the evil people on me. I'm leaving. Bye.
I removed the seal on the Phazon. There's no reason for me to be here. The planet is assuredly doomed.
I'm pretty sure I already killed Ridley.
Well, yeah, but Ridley is not the threat. You're the entire reason you were here was for the Phazon.
Nah, that was something I figured out after coming here. I mean, yeah, like, while I was on planet, basically. It's like, oh, wow, this Phazon stuff sounds like really bad news, but am I really here for this?
Yeah. You were brought here by Ancient Chozo Prophecy to deal with it. Ancient Chozo Prophecy doesn't care about Ridley. Look at that. They just basically decided they had enough watching you basically, like, fighting him and just nuked him. And then opened the door for you the other way. You always pick wrong.
Left is always the correct direction to go in.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. The direction I was supposed to go was left. I wonder.
No, it doesn't look like there's anything scannable here.
Well, I'm in the impact crater.
So that teleporter, or?
Maybe? I don't know what Ghost Chozo magic does.
Try to scan. Oh, hey, was this just a save point?
Yeah, I guess there was no need to go back.
Oh, I mean...
Well, missiles, yeah, actually. I suppose I could have gone through that fight without using my missiles.
Let's not, like, tempt fate here. Try scanning the area, see what's up.
There's the orange stuff.
Huh? That's a good question. Phazon?
Is it?
I have no idea. Anyway, let's keep moving.
It might be Phazon.
Try scanning those? What?
Ha!
New creature. Lumagek, phase-on charged reptiles. As Tallon IV, the Lumageks travel in swarms to increase their odds of survival. They absorb and radiate phase-on energy, making these swarms a threat. Oh. They're a threat.
Did they?
I have no idea. Is that giant blue bubble below you scannable? Oh, hey, there is a scannable thing right there.
Is there?
Yeah, they're right. Limited data on unknown. Okay, highly radioactive. You take mutagenic quantities at least 86% greater than phase-on. Unshielded bioforms below index level P will suffer fatality within moments. Oh.
So that explains why they just died in there.
Yeah, maybe you should. I was gonna say avoid touching it, but here we go.
Not the... There we go.
Oh, this is crazy. Is there anything scannable in here? Oh, well, there's something.
Hey.
Oh, it's a Metroid. Fission Metroid. Metroid, the ability to split into two. It's mutant capable of splitting in two. The split does creatures invulnerability to most weaponry. Its effect is unstable, resulting in weakness to a weapon fire. Oh. One of the appears to be random due to the chaotic nature fails on mutation. Okay, so... I think the other one is ice. Because it's white, not red. Yeah, you already... How random, a Metroid that's weak to ice.
I mean... It doesn't seem weak to ice.
It's taking damage from ice, unlike the fire thing that dealt no damage to it when you shot it earlier.
Same thing. So are you sure the fire thing dealt no damage to it? Because...
Yeah, the first one took damage to fire and it was red. This one was white. See, now that one's yellow and that one's red, so you need the power beam and the fire beam to fight them.
Okay. Oh, come on. I hate that you guys can just catch me like that.
They can all do that. Yours usually quicker on the uptake.
And I usually have the ability to just freeze them and not have them be my problem anymore. Ooh. Huh. What? Come on. Why do I... Okay, so one ice, one fire. So I'm looking through this room as I'm fighting these guys, and I'm not seeing a place to go.
Hey man, there's like a spiral of platforms going upward.
No, I mean like the mini-map doesn't seem to acknowledge like a...
I see a couple of nubs actually.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Oh, he died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, like you see like there's a couple of tiny ones sticking out from the upper parts of the map. You see that, right? Just go. I think they're hatching. Just run. No, like climb the thing. I think new
Those?
Metroids are just spawning in.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You mean climb that?
Yes.
Okay, then why didn't you say that?
Because I pointed to the upward spiral of
You
platforms.
pointed directly upwards. You didn't point at anything in particular. Oh, dick.
And now you see there's, like, platforms in the middle that, well...
Okay. Okay. Why are you following me?
He wants to eat you.
He doesn't get to. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, you looked past it twice, and I wasn't sure if you were looking for something else. Yeah, there's one right there.
There we go.
Oh, hey.
Huh. I mean, this works.
It's like a missile room.
Is it a missile room? I thought it was a map room for a second there.
Might be a map room.
Did I use my missiles?
You have not yet, no.
I mean, nice. A missile room is handy. Jerk. I am so glad
that you landed that blind.
Yeah. Like, I saw it attached to my, attached to my face, and I just had that moment of blind panic.
Scan. Fascinating. Map? I'm just curious, honestly. Crater Tunnel B, Phazon Core. He was magnetized into the death Phazon.
I can't go forward.
What are you talking about?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you don't want to go there anyway. You want to go up on the wall.
I tried, Oh, okay, that just... Okay.
Let go?
Ah!
Yeah, you had to drop. Oh, hey, you can just do that, I guess. There's something scannable, too.
There was.
Behind you, maybe? No, it's right there. Oh, it's magnetic. Oh, okay.
Okay.
So that was concerning, but yeah, those are definitely teeth.
Are we inside a giant creature?
I think that might be Metroid Prime.
What is this body?
Let's start with scanning it.
Yeah, I want to learn... Oh.
I think we have to follow it down into a boss arena.
That has a...
Human face. Metroid Prime, highly evolved Phazon producing life form. The aberration known as Metroid Prime is the source of Phazon, making it immensely powerful. Like Volley's susceptible to certain weapons for a brief period, only its head is truly vulnerable. Other attacks are a nuisance. Effectively, Metroid Prime has a number of natural and mechanical weapons at disposal. These include ultra-frigid breath, multi-missiles, snare beams, and particle wave projectors. Its massive strength and barbed characters make it lethal in melee combat. Recommend maximum firepower when engaging this enemy. And this is round 2. Is this gonna be a theme with you?
What, 2 rounds?
Yeah, 2 attempts at the final boss.
It might be.
And we're back for another attempt at the final boss.
Let's get this going.
Scan it quickly while there's cover so we don't forget about it. Get it out of the way. New creatures entry. So I guess I'm just going to splice that in from one of the other attempts.
Probably.
Which is my way of saying that would actually be really hard. But okay, let's just go ahead and continue like this. Not to get out of that. Yeah, there we go. Remember the super missile. It does so much damage when it lands. I feel like it did more damage last time.
It's possible.
I just realized we should probably be doing commentary on this fight even though we've seen it before. This is Metroid Prime, the final boss of the game. Features that we've noticed across the last couple of attempts that haven't made it in here. One, Tony has realized new, better strategies of landing attacks on certain types of forms. Its armor makes it immune to most kinds of attacks, depending on what form it's in currently. And it mirrors the same way the special troopers do. So, for instance, the red one only takes damage from the plasma beam, and the white one only takes damage from the ice beam. And apparently, the third time, Joey just. That was amazing.
Oh. I'm sorry, you were saying something?
Yeah, no, and Tony is massively improved in the last couple of attempts. For instance, on his first attempt, at this point timeline-wise, he was down to like half health and he hadn't gotten out of the first room of the fight yet. This is a marked improvement.
Hilariously enough, those weird balls things are easily the hardest things for me to deal with.
No, I completely believe it.
There's another thing, basically. It's I actually straight up can't tell which direction Prime is aiming at.
It's the direction the laser's going in.
Yeah, but like until like she, I guess we decided on, is firing.
I say it's a she due to technical reasons. I'm not really sure if it is or not. Also, the lore entry has some interesting details on it, and it showed that it has a creepy-looking human face inside of that helmet. Super nice. Wow, really? Deflected at the one angle it possibly could have?
Yeah, I did that twice in a row. It was awesome. Did you see it? I'm not that mad. I'm not mad at all. I'm just fucking livid.
That is mad, Tony. That's a synonym for mad.
I was something...
Something beyond furious. Okay, hold on.
Okay. That's one hit. Oh.
Wow. Rude.
I also like how Metroid Prime isn't dumb.
Yeah. Also, I like how we've made it the final boss fight and you finally started to utilize the dodge appropriately.
Yeah, you know me. There's a time for everything.
The time for this was like the first third of the game. Also, it keeps charging.
Yeah, I would really appreciate it if you stopped doing that. That move is almost never the same. Alright. Okay.
And since unfortunately Tony has already seen it, we can say the first form has been defeated, and now he must fight the second one.
Into the depths we go.
So what is this room called, out of curiosity?
Huh. You know, after I switch to a weapon that can actually hurt it, I'll pull up the map, see what that is.
You don't have a weapon that can hurt it. Oh, it's Metroid Prime Lair. Sun Chamber 5, Subchamber 3, Subchamber. Okay, cool. And then that's the Phaeton Infusion Chamber. Oh, scan. Yeah, no, you literally can't hurt it until, like, the Phazon pools show up.
Yeah, I know, but my weapon can still hurt it.
No, what?
There's a function of it that can hurt it, even if I require something to do it. That still, by definition, means I can hurt it.
It's... What are you talking about?
He's like, oh, hey, you need this thing in order to be able to hurt it. It's like, yes. And that supercharges the weapon I'm currently using and allows me to hurt it.
No, it doesn't. It straight up replaces it with the Phazon cannon. Also, the pool's there and you should be using it.
Huh.
Also, it's invisible. You might want to figure out what thing it's on. Do you want to... There it is. But yeah, the Hyper Mode Phazon gun is its own gun.
It just came right back.
Knocked you out of the pool. It's back there.
Okay. I will thank you.
Switch visibility. Regular visibility.
Come on. Create a pool. You know you want to. Well, you probably don't. It's the only way I'm hurting you. So is that a lion's roar?
I have no idea what bass sound effect is, but it's something.
Look at that spooky face. I'm trying to figure out what, like, Metroid Prime's current appearance reminds me of. Because it's not quite an octopus. Not really a squid properly either, in my opinion.
The way its face kind of looms, it makes me think of a cross between the Protoss from StarCraft and Shodan from System Shock.
Ah, there we go. That's a description that basically I can understand fully. There we go.
Regular visibility, nifty.
Oh, hey. Is it trying to invade separate realities?
I have no idea what's currently happening. Oh. Scan it again. That's a new form.
Huh. No. No, please stop. Kindly get away. No. Oh, Okay.
Oh. Crater collapse imminent. Evacuate immediately. Oh, is that...
Oh.
Maybe keep running.
Oh, hey, they're good.
I'm kind of cheated. We don't get the actual flee from an explosion thing. We did it on the spaceship, and now we're just... leaving. Cool.
I mean, to be fair, like, it wouldn't really be that much of a run.
I mean, fair, I guess.
Huh. You know, the model for her face inside the helmet is much more impressive.
What I think is interesting about this is the Samus character model has to be really complex.
Yeah?
Because if you think about it really carefully, that is the exact face you see reflected back on you in the visor. And there's also, when you switch into, like, the X-ray helmet or whatever, you can see, like, the skeletal arm things, which means at least partially they did meshes and layers for every form of Samus that you can see at the same time.
Huh. And, that was the end.
Yep. You know, given the fact there's a long credits roll, we don't have as much to sass over like we did in Ocarina of Time, for instance.
Yeah.
I guess now's a good time to talk about the game in general. David Zoid Kirsch.
Oh?
Huh. There's some fun names here. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that one.
Akintunde?
What
Is that that's not a Japanese name, is it?
I can't tell. That's why I like how I looked at it, and you were like, "Oh, I see the one you mean immediately." So that was Metroid Prime, barring one tiny other thing, which we're gonna put in at the end of this. What did you think? Personally, I adore this game. There are, looking back on it, there are some bits of it that like are a little bit rough. The big one that I come back to are tank controls, because I feel like tank controls were inexcusable the first time it was used. Outside of like a literal tank, like Resident Evil. Like, I love Resident Evil games, but like that was not fun. It's never been good game design in my opinion, and I don't like it here. And it only becomes harsher in hindsight, and I try to be kind of forgiving of it for that, because I mean, this game technically came out like a year after Halo, so like what became the basic control scheme for first-person shooters forever was already out when this came out.
Yeah.
But it's like I can see why they did what they did with like the D-pad and the C-stick as the selector things. But oh my god, would have been so much better if you could like strafe and look at the same time.
Yeah.
Which I hate to say it, but they kind of fixed with Metroid Prime 3 and the Metroid Prime trilogy for the Wii, because they had the motion control of the Wiimote mixed in with everything else. And it kind of created some smart gameplay opportunities. But overall, I loved this game. There was a lot to love about this whole thing, and there's oh yeah, and then it's Retro Studios does like a bunch of special things. Like, seriously, pause this part of the video to read this.
I would like to give a shout out to my little bro, Riley Jones.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of cool stuff here.
Oh, this is just heartwarming.
Yeah. No, Retro Studios is one of the best game companies, to my knowledge, in a lot of ways. Do you have anything you would like to add to the conversation?
Honestly, like this game is really fun to play. Like, oh yeah, tank controls made it like incredibly frustrating at certain points, and just kind of going through and exploring, while it is fun, can be kind of irritating when you can't move the way you want to. It takes some getting used to, and like unfortunately, because of the way we're approaching this, I couldn't just sit down and explore until I definitely got completely used to it.
Yeah. Well, on the
77%. That's not bad.
We also unlocked hard mode, which we're not doing on camera. Tony, feel free to use it, though. Yeah, I think you're on the same page as I am, where this game is like a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 if you're willing to overlook like certain minor technical problems.
Honestly, like, I think that basically, it's just this game is kind of held back by the like techniques that they had at the time. Which is not something that I would say for most games. Usually, in my opinion, most games are kind of products of the time period that they're made in, and they're there isn't really a way. There's always a way you can make a game better.
Yeah, I think you will enjoy Metroid Prime 2 and 3 a bit more than this one on that count. And I'm really looking forward to Metroid Prime 4 personally. I think Metroid Prime, the first one, is my favorite of the trilogy in terms of game structure, though. Because if I remember correctly, at least 3 kind of deviates from the classic Metroidvania or whatever, which isn't an inherently bad thing, but it is different.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like I tend not to play too many games where I go out and explore. Like, I have a very small wheelhouse that I actually really enjoy to play, and everything else I tend to suffer through. But is it like this is one of those games where I'm sitting there and you're exploring and you're just like, oh hey, is your almost always your first reaction rather than like, ah man, which is a very emotional way of putting it, but I can't think of another way of putting it off the top of my head.
No, I totally get it. I've always enjoyed like the Metroidvania kind of style game because I enjoy games like fighting games and like first-person shooters where there's a lot of action and everything. But I also really, really enjoy games like, say, Zelda, which is all about like exploration and puzzle solving a lot of the time. And then there are also games like big open world games where there's just a lot to explore or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like Skyrim is a game that I come back to 9 years later. I mean, not a huge claim. This is almost 20 years later I've come back to Metroid Prime.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like every time I basically play Skyrim, I find some other new thing that I've never seen before. Just because there's like 250 hours of gameplay of like non-repeatable gameplay and content just in the base game. And it's like a lot of people look at Skyrim for the memes or how Todd Howard has sold it to like 18 times to every individual human on the planet at this point.
Yeah.
But like it's one of those achievements, I guess. And like Metroidvania style games basically hit kind of a balance between those two things. Where it's like, it seems like it's equal parts like nail-biting action and equal parts wide-eyed awe and exploration at the stuff around, you know?
Yeah. Like, honestly, if I was able to move a bit more freely, like, and just kind of dive into the combat the way I like to, I probably would just refuse to stop playing this game even after we turned off the camera.
Yeah.
As it stands, I have a lot of fun with it, like, but I'm not entirely sure how often I'd feel like coming back to this game if I don't have to.
To be fair, it's been at least 5 years since the last time I played it.
It's like, oh, there is a lot to love about this game, but I feel like it's something that I need to set time aside for. It feels like a commitment.
Yeah. Metroid Prime, I feel like, is basically one of those games that's explains, from my perspective, is like the justification for why GameQuest exists as a channel. Because it's this game that I love, and there's this fun gameplay experience, and it's a great way of, I guess, forcing Tony to experience it. Well, because, I mean, it's not just that, but because you're doing it in front of a camera, you really have to think about what you're saying and examine things critically.
He's holding a gun to my head, people.
Don't start this. So, there is one other tiny thing that we're going to basically go ahead and do right now, but other than that, I guess this has been Metroid Prime. This has been a great series. I've loved watching Tony play through it, helping him along, experiencing things, and I've kind of hated editing it.
Oh boy.
There's been some technical problems on the back end. We've been stuck with this game for like a month and a half now, and I loved every second of it, but I'm not sad to see it go right now.
Oh. Meanwhile, on my end, basically, I had a lot of fun playing it. I've had a lot of fun basically going back over the footage. But, like, I guess my main issue with playing this game is that, like, we tend to keep playing until both of us are drained.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, it's like, I think you're in the same place I am, where it's like, you loved it, but, like, we're ready to move on.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to move on to something new.
Okay, we're almost ready to move on. We will, I mean, yeah, let's just go ahead and break here. And this is the bit that comes in the 100% thing. Just a quick little after credits like stinger that pops in.
That is incredibly distressing.
Yep.